Beautiful. Yes, so good. I'm just bouncing from that. Oh, that looks amazing! Or not your hair, your makeup. Oh, your hair scissors. I'd actually drop it colour. It's just that. Cheers. Nico will get you one as well. I need to put my mascara on, but I'm not much fun yet. Or should I get them to the same time? Zeno. Come on. Oh, right. Yeah, she's conscious of her legs. All right. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, the sun is coming out. We're getting flashbacks of Rachel's 30s when I nearly took her eye out. Woo! I do. I know, we're okay. And the sun came out.
done, we're here, hand in hand, my dear. Just you wait and see, we're gonna get married. White dress, perfect hair, champagne friends are here.
Is your tongue downstairs? This is
We're gonna get married. We don't need cars and money, as long as we're together, honey. Through thick and thin, laughter where we've been, we're here. Let's get married. Let's get married. Let's get married.
Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, I invite you to stand, please, for the arrival of the bridal party.
Sweet laugh, big heart. You smile that could light up the dark. Strong faith, close family. Choosing love in the midst of tragedy. When I met you, something changed in me. I'm better with you than I'll ever be. 'Cause when you walk into a room, life gets a little sweeter. When I look at you, I see a little clearer. Through the years and every change, we'll put up a fight. 'Cause you're my love, my everything. You are my life. West towards the city. Grew up fast and got a little gritty. We found love, worked hard. Bought a house with a big backyard. When I met you, something changed in me. I'm better with you than I'll ever be. 'Cause when you walk into a room, life gets a little sweeter. When I look at you, I see a little clearer. Through the years and every change, we'll put up a fight. 'Cause you're my love, my everything. You are my life.
What an entrance. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you today on behalf of Stephen and Shelley on this special occasion as we celebrate their marriage and honour their commitment to each other. They've asked me to express how important it is for them to have you all here today as they make their public declarations of love to one another. You have a special relationship with one or both of them, and your presence here today adds significance to this ceremony and support to their marriage. Shelley and Stephen would like to take a moment to remember those who are not with us, particularly Stephen's grandparents, Michael and Maura, and Des and Francis, and Shelley's grandparents, Anne and Nicholas, and Kate and Fergus. Special family friends, Des and Laura, Linda. They're in our thoughts today and remembered with affection. We can be sure that they would have been so very happy for both of you today. My name is Barbara Cullinan. I'm an accredited celebrant from the Humanist Association of Ireland, and as such I'm a registered legal solemniser, which means that I am authorised to legally marry Shelley and Stephen. For any of you who may not be familiar with humanism, it's an ethical life stance. It places human values at the centre of its philosophy. It's about compassion and reason, it's about taking responsibility, it's about treating others with respect. And it's inclusive, so whether you're here from a humanist outlook or religious or regardless of your worldview or philosophy, all are welcome here today. Stephen and Shelley have chosen a humanist wedding because it has the couple who are being married at its heart, and it's a lovely way for a couple to express their ideals and values with sincerity and with integrity. What makes this ceremony different is that Shelley and Stephen haven't just chosen the gorgeous venue, I think you will all agree, and that deserves a round of applause. The outfits, the food, the music, they've also chosen elements they want in their wedding that are special and significant for them. So today's wedding is their design. It's their way of ensuring that today is a fitting, meaningful, personal and memorable occasion. As you know, the need for ceremony is integral to all human beings, and you'll see that the format for today will be similar to what most of us are familiar with. So we're going to have readings and music and the exchange of vows and rings. Before we begin, I'm aware that there are quite a number of you here today, and you may not all know the names of Stephen and Shelley's supporters who are here with them. So I'm going to invite them, please, to stand again, and I'm going to introduce you to everyone. No pressure. Just stand and face. So please face everyone else. So like I said, no pressure. So on Stephen's side, we have Keith, who's a friend, best man. And we have Mark, who is Stephen's brother and groomsman. There's a bit of competition between them about who's the best groomsman, but we'll let you guys decide. Then there's Gavin, another brother and groomsman. And another brother Barry, also a groomsman. And Declan, who's Stephen's good friend and groomsman. And here's supporting Shelley then, we have, of course, Amy, her maid of honour. And then we have bridesmaids Laura and Rachel and Angela. Thank you so much, guys. You may now sit down, and I will not pull that stunt on you again, so you're safe. So that brings us to one of the lovely readings chosen for today. It's called On Your Wedding Day, and I would like to welcome forward Anne-Marie Fay, who is going to read it for us. Shelley and Anne-Marie met when they both nursed together, and she has been Michelle's rock ever since. As Shelley told me, it's difficult to put their bond and how much she means to her into words, but it's one she knows she will have for the rest of her life. Thank you, Anne-Marie.
On your wedding day. Today is a day that you'll always remember, the greatest in anyone's life. You'll start off the day just two people in love and end it as husband and wife. It's a brand new beginning, the start of a journey with moments to cherish and treasure. And although there'll be times when you both disagree, these will surely be outweighed by pleasure. You'll have heard many words of advice in the past when the secrets of marriage were spoken, but you know that the answers lie hidden inside where the bond of true love lies unbroken. So live happy forever as lovers and friends. It's the dawn of a new life for you, as you stand there together with love in your eyes from the moment you whisper, I do. And with luck, all your hopes and your dreams can be real. May success find its way to your hearts. Tomorrow can bring you the greatest of joys, but today is the day it all starts.
It takes a lot more than love to make a marriage work. It requires us to grow up, to be adults. It works best if we have the ability to compromise, to be generous, to be kind, and to be patient. We also need honesty, perseverance, and patience. There will be hard times, but they will be made easier by facing it together. In exchange, the rewards of a long and happy marriage are truly many. And so we wish for Shelley and Stephen today that they may embrace the years ahead and grow old together with spirit and energy, with open hearts and inquiring minds, laughing at times and wondering how they ever got along without this love they have found. Marriage joins two people who trust the love they have found, and so this commitment is a statement made by a couple to those around them of what they already know, that they have found such love, friendship and support that they wish to share the rest of their lives. And as we all know, life is not always easy or kind. So, as you sit here today, I ask you above all, be kind to each other. May you enjoy and appreciate the deepening love and intimacy that comes with the passing of the years, and never be afraid to ask for help. We are hardwired for love and connection in all its forms, from love and marriage to friendship, from relationships with siblings, grandparents, aunts, uncles and cousins to neighbours, work colleagues, etc. When this love is strong and true, then it ripples out into the wider world and it forms the basis of all our human connections. We derive huge strength from these connections with other human beings, but if we don't have love in its broadest sense to underpin them, then we won't find this world an easy place to navigate. However, with love, we can find the inner resources we need to flourish in our lives. Shelley and Stephen are reminding us of that today. They've chosen to celebrate their love by committing to each other in marriage, and we have the privilege of being invited to witness and recognise their marriage, which is both a public and a legal recognition of their long-term, deep and committed relationship. So, how did this lovely couple get together? They chuckled. What do they know that you didn't tell me, eh? Huh? So, Stephen and Michelle officially met for the first time in Louise Sludd's living room. Michelle was drinking a milky cup of tea and Stephen was just back from Australia. They didn't see each other for 2 years after that as Michelle moved to London. But when she was back at Christmas time, she spotted Stephen in the old schoolhouse in Swords and decided she wanted to make her move. Unfortunately, when Shelley went to find Stephen, she could not find him. So she grabbed Rachel and said, "Sure, let's go home." But then, when they were leaving the pub, Shelley heard a loud voice shouting her name, and it was Stephen running out after her. Both were ecstatic to see each other, even though they hadn't spoken or seen each other from the first time back in Louise's living room. And the rest is history. They had their first date a few days later, and they've been inseparable ever since. There was a proposal. It happened in Sri Lanka in a beautiful town called Ella. Poor Stephen carried the ring around in his bag, trying to avoid scanning machines at the airport. He spent every hike they went on looking for the right spot. Finally, one night when they were looking over the jungle, drinking wine, listening to music and watching the fireflies, Stephen felt it was the right time to propose with no disturbances. What he didn't know was that Shelley was trying to book him in with the GP back home, thinking there was something wrong with him because he was in and out of the toilet so much. All he was doing was practicing his speech, honestly. Stephen finally got down on one knee and asked Michelle to marry him, to which she responded by saying, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God," and she forgot to say yes. But here they are. So before we proceed to Shelley and Stephen's declarations of marriage, we're going to have another reading. Stephen Doran is going to read this one for us, and it's called Maybe. Shelley and Stephen invited Stephen Doran to read this poem as he has been an exceptionally supportive friend to both of them when they went travelling at the start of their relationship, and they've developed a strong relationship, so much so that he nearly married them today. They're both extremely blessed to have Stephen in their lives, so thank you very much, Stephen.
Look lovely. Maybe we were supposed to meet the wrong people before we meet the right one. So when we finally meet the right person, we know what a grateful gift it is. Maybe it's true that we don't know what we have until we lose it, but it's also true that we don't know what we have until it arrives. Maybe the happiest of people don't necessarily have the best of everything, they just make the best of what everything comes along. Maybe the best kind of love is the kind of love you can sit on the sofa, not say a word, and feel like you've had the best conversation you've ever had. Maybe you shouldn't go for looks, they can deceive. Don't go for wealth, even that fades away. Go for someone who makes you smile, because even it takes only a smile to make dark days seem bright. Maybe you should hope for enough happiness to make you sweet, enough trials to make you strong, enough sorrow to keep you human, and enough hope to make you happy. Maybe love is not about finding the perfect person, it's about learning to see the imperfect person perfectly. Got there.
So Shelley and Stephen will soon be making their legal declarations of marriage. But first, as I mentioned earlier, they've chosen to seal their marriage with a beautiful symbolic tradition, and this is called hand fasting. This has its origin in Celtic times. At that time, when the bride and groom exchanged their wedding vows, their hands were lightly bound by cloth or maybe even by tartan or ribbon. So it's where the expression tying the knot comes from. It's a symbolic gesture, and it shows that the couple are bound fast to each other with their hands, thus the name hand fasting. And indeed, today we recognise that this is not just a union between two people, but also between two families. So they've chosen two ribbons, both blue ribbons, in honour of Everton Football Club. So, could I firstly ask the two of you to stand in front of me, please? Thank you. Shelley and Stephen. Today on your wedding day, as you promised to love each other forever, you are holding the hands of your best friend. These are the hands that will work alongside yours as you build your future. These are the hands that will love and cherish you through the years, and with the slightest touch will comfort you like no other. These are the hands that will hold you when fear or grief fills your mind. These are the hands that will countless times wipe the tears from your eyes. Tears of sorrow, and as of today, tears of joy. The hands that will help you hold your family as one. These are the hands that will give you strength when you need it. And lastly, these are the hands that even when wrinkled and aged will still be reaching for yours, still giving you the same unspoken tenderness with just a touch. Shelley and Stephen, will you accept and take each other to be life's partners? And will you promise to share a relationship of love, tenderness and laughter, to confide in and entrust each other above all others, to respect and stand by each other in everything as an equal partner, and to love and cherish each other for all the days of your lives?
We will.
We will.
We will.
And so the binding is made. Shelley and Stephen, as your hands are bound together now, so your lives are joined in a union of love and trust. Above you are the stars, below you is the earth. Like the stars, your love should be a constant source of light, and like the earth, a firm foundation from which to grow. Hold fast to each other through good times and bad, and grow in strength together. I now invite each of you, holding tightly to your ribbon, to go tie the knot.
Okay. Is this okay? Yeah. Hey, microphones. If I get through this without crying, I'll be doing well. Okay. Stephen and Michelle, the two lovebirds, or penguins as they call themselves, have tied the knot today. And we're all so privileged to watch John and Sneva give their darling daughter away. Stephen is a lucky man, and the great thing is he knows it. He told me he always wanted to be able to call Michelle his wife. Well, Steve, today's your lucky day and the start of your beautiful married life. However, they've had a few detours on the road to becoming man and wife. These lovebirds first met in Louisa's sitting room where they had some tea. Steve was instantly smitten, and we can clearly see why. He decided to Facebook message Michelle. She decided not to reply. Thankfully, fate brought them together again many years later, as they are clearly meant to be. They locked eyes in the schoolhouse, and Michelle could no longer resist. Stephen finally responded back to her message. He was so mad to persist. They were both mad about each other and quickly arranged their first date. Good things come to those who wait. And in Stephen's case, this is definitely true. This date was the start of their happily ever after and led them to the path of saying I do. They went on their date to the attic in 2015, and since then they have both been living their dream. Shell knew she loved Stephen when she told him she was going travelling, and he told her he'd wait. I'm sure he was used to this by now. It only took 3 years for a first date. These two had a special bond right from the start. For a couple who were slow to get off the ground, once they started dating, there was no messing around.
1 month in, they went on their first holiday to Liverpool with Stephen's parents, Risha and Niall, in tow. The crack was had and it was clear for all to see. Stephen and Michelle were certainly meant to be. 3 months later, Michelle went to South America and Stephen kept in constant touch. Absence most certainly made the heart grow fonder, and the bond these two share only became stronger. Michelle returned home and they've been inseparable since. I'm doing well. Stephen got down on one knee in Sri Lanka in 2019. He did get stuck between two sun loungers while doing this, but managed to seal the deal. Michelle happily said yes to becoming his wife, and they travelled back to Ireland to begin their new life. They have built their lives together in Dublin with their fur baby Millie in tow, and everyone around can see how happy they are once Stephen doesn't let the beard grow. Michelle is the warmest, kindest, most beautiful human we all know, and Stephen is a legend with a heart of gold. They say the worth of a man can be reflected in the size of his wife's smile. Well, I think we all just need to look at Michelle's face today to see Stephen has accomplished this by a mile. He is an amazing man, and together they make the best team. So keep smiling, guys. Keep doing your thing, as if 7 years later, you're still as blissfully in love as that fateful first date. Your life and love to come will certainly be worth the wait. So happy wedding day, penguins. You're officially man and wife. Everyone here is so happy for you. And now it's time to celebrate that you both finally said, I
do. Shelley and Stephen. I am required under Irish law to ask you if you know of any reason you may not be married to each other. Michelle Matthews, do you solemnly and sincerely declare that you know of no legal or civil impediment to your marriage to Stephen Conway?
I, Michelle Matthews, declare that I know of no
legal or civil
impediment to my marriage to Stephen Conway.
Stephen Conway, do you solemnly and sincerely declare that you know of no legal or civil impediment to your marriage to Michelle Matthews?
I, Stephen Conway, declare
That I know of no legal or civil impediment.
that I declare, sorry, that I know of no legal
or
civil impediment
to my marriage
to my marriage
Michelle Matthews.
to Michelle Matthews. It's a tough word.
Do you, Michelle Matthews, take Stephen Conway to be your husband, best friend and soulmate? Do you acknowledge your love for him, and will you always try to bring him happiness and laughter throughout your life, whatever your future together may hold?
I do.
Do you, Stephen Conway, take Michelle Matthews to be your wife, best friend and soulmate? Do you acknowledge your love for her, and will you always try to bring her happiness and laughter throughout your life, whatever your future together may hold?
I do.
Having made their legal declarations, Shelley and Stephen will now seal the vows they share with each other with the exchange of wedding rings. The wedding ring is a circle. It has no beginning and no end. It symbolises both unity and infinity. It's a reminder of the promises made and received. The precious metal came from the ground as a rough ore, and it was heated and purified and shaped and polished. Something beautiful was made from raw beginnings, and love is like that. It comes from humble elements made by imperfect beings. It's the process of making something beautiful where once there was nothing at all. Mia, may I invite you to come forward, please? Mia, will you stand behind here, please? Thank you. Mia, will you please give Stephen's ring to Shelley? Michelle, please repeat after me as you place the ring on Stephen's finger. I, Michelle.
I, Michelle Matthews,
Take you, Stephen,
take you, Stephen,
to be my husband.
to be my husband,
And with this ring, I marry you.
and with this ring I marry you
And join my life to yours.
and join my life to yours.
Thank you, Mia. Stephen,
I, Stephen,
take you, Michelle, to be my wife.
take you, Michelle, to be my wife.
And with this ring,
And with this ring,
I marry you.
I marry you
And join my life to yours.
and join my life to yours.
May these rings stand for you as symbols of your love for one another. Looking both inwards and outwards, an embrace that binds without imprisoning, a support that reassures without restricting. The wedding bands that Shelley and Stephen have exchanged are a confirmation of the vows that they have made today. Shelley and Stephen, you have both now made a solemn and binding contract in my presence and in the presence of both your witnesses and guests. You have freely consented in this wedding ceremony to share your lives, and you have sealed your vows with the giving of these rings. It therefore gives me great pleasure, in the face of all here present and by the power invested in me in the Irish state, to formally declare you husband and wife. Congratulations. And so we come to the end of today's ceremony, but at the beginning of the remainder of today's celebrations, of which there will be many, I'm sure. On behalf of Stephen and Shelley, I thank you all for coming here today and for sharing this special day with them. They've asked me once again to express their sincere thanks and appreciation to each and every one of you for being here today. To the two of you, we say, remember this day. Those who came to wish you well and share your celebrations, the words you have spoken, the vows you have taken, and all the emotions that you feel right now. May you continue to have love, friendship, honesty, and trust. And remember that this gathering of family and friends wish you nothing but love and laughter in the many years to come. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, may I invite you, if you can, to please be upstanding and to welcome with applause and cheers Shelley and Stephen as husband and wife.